In the quiet town of Harbor Point, secrets were hard to keep, but the deepest truths often hid in plain sight. Every morning was a familiar rhythm. Fishermen on the docks, shop owners sweeping sidewalks, and Maggie's diner opening at 6 sharp. This was where Admiral Jack Reynolds came every Thursday. To most, Jack was just a quiet old man, but few remembered he once commanded Navy SEAL teams across the globe. He preferred it that way. One morning he noticed the waitress before she saw him. Her name tag read Emily. She moved with practiced politeness, but her eyes kept darting nervously toward the kitchen. As she poured his coffee, Jack saw the bruises fading yellow fingerprints on her wrist, a mark on her upper arm peeking from beneath her sleeve. Jack had seen injuries like that before, in places ruled by fear. He said nothing, simply observing. Emily flinched at loud noises and apologized for things that weren't her fault. When a man whistled at her, she stiffened, her jaw tight. When she brought his eggs, Jack spoke gently, nodding toward her arm. Long shifts do that to a person. Hard work leaves marks. She froze for a moment, then forced a smile. Yes, sir, clumsy me. Jack didn't push. He left a generous tip and a folded napkin. On it, he'd written, "If you ever need help, you are not alone." That afternoon, Jack visited the police station. He asked Sheriff Tom Whitaker to see the domestic violence reports for the year. The sheriff hesitated, calling it sensitive information. Jack leaned forward, his voice calm but firm. "I didn't ask as a civilian," the sheriff complied. The files told a familiar story. Multiple calls from the same address, all labeled a disturbance, none pursued. The notes always said the same thing: victim declined to press charges. By evening, Harbor Point was buzzing. Unmarked SUVs and county police cruisers rolled into town, their presence quiet but unmissable. They filed into Maggie's diner, followed by Jack. Emily's face went pale. Jack didn't look at her. He looked at the man in the corner booth, his eyes already burning with anger. An officer spoke. "Daniel Carter, you're under arrest." The diner fell silent. Carter shot up. "For what?" "This is a mistake." Jack stepped forward. "For years," he said quietly, "you counted on fear to keep you invisible. You counted on silence. You counted on people looking the other way." Carter scoffed. "Who the hell are you?" Jack met his gaze. "Someone who recognizes patterns." The charges piled up quickly. Assault, intimidation, repeated domestic abuse. An advocate and a social worker arrived. The story spread like wildfire. Later, Emily sat wrapped in a blanket, shaking. "I didn't tell anyone," she whispered as Jack approached. He nodded. "You didn't have to." Tears streamed down her face. "I thought no one would believe me." Jack crouched to meet her eyes. "Belief is earned by truth," he said. And truth always leaves a trail. The next morning, Harbor Point felt different. People were talking openly about what they had ignored. Other women came forward. The sheriff reopened old cases. And Emily? She came to work with her sleeves rolled up. The bruises were still visible, but her smile was real. When she poured Jack's coffee, her hands were steady. "Thank you," she said softly. Jack just shook his head. "You did the hard part." As he left, the townspeople watched him with new eyes. Not because he was a SEAL Admiral, but because he had noticed and refused to look away. And in Harbor Point, they learned that sometimes that's enough to change everything. Thanks for watching. If you or someone you know is facing a similar situation, please know there is help available. We'll leave resources in the description below. Remember to subscribe for more stories that inspire.